Tonight, it's been dangled for a while. Now, public servants who are ready to move on can seize the opportunity to retire early.
The public servant that will retire, they won't have the support of the union anymore. So who's going to support them?
But given the ongoing pay system issues, will they be properly supported if they do? It took 50 years to identify the victim and her alleged killer in a decades-old cold case involving a woman whose body was found in the South Nation River. Now, prosecution and defense are recommending the suspect in his 80s be deemed unfit to stand trial. And grappling with garbage.
Is it garbage day? What's garbage? What are we supposed to be putting out?
Sorting through exactly when to leave your trash at the curb as a new collection schedule kicks in today. Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest on the federal government's efforts to reduce the size of the public service. Eligible public servants can now apply to retire early, but there are concerns about whether the Phoenix pay system backlog could impact employees' pensions. CTV's Austin Lee is following this for us today and joins us live with more. Austin.
Oh, Patricia, tens of thousands of workers have received notices that they are eligible to retire early. The government hopes it's a measure that will help to reduce the size of the public sector by nearly 30,000 jobs. However, advocates fear those retirees could be left without adequate support. Early retirement incentives came at the right time for Stéphane Turcotte.
For me, I was planning to retire anyway, so it just... in terms of because there's a transition support measure and the severance pay, so that's going to help.
After more than 30 years in the public sector, he's looking forward to having more free time and an unexpected boost to his retirement package.
Well, it's great. Going to be a change, of course, on my daily routine. Looking forward to it.
In December, roughly 68,000 notices went out to workers who could be eligible for early retirement. And while some are excited, the National Association of Federal Retirees is cautious.
The public servant that will retire, they won't have the support of the union anymore. So who's going to support them?
The Phoenix pay system remains a pain point for many, with more than 215,000 paid transactions still in backlog. There are concerns that for potential retirees with existing issues on Phoenix, pension calculations could be impacted.
The government will have to be extremely vigilant about this.
But some workers who are told they may be affected by workforce adjustments say the early retirement and voluntary departure options are easing their stress.
I think a surprising amount of numbers volunteered. So thankfully, a lot of us are rescinded status for the affected status. So I think some of the tension has eased a little bit.
Now, it is still unclear exactly how many workers have applied for an early retirement package. They do have until July 24th to apply, and any public servant approved for the early retirement incentive package must retire by January 20th. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, the federal and Ontario governments are teaming up to cut the cost of buying a home. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Premier Doug Ford announcing what they're calling an historic agreement today. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has the details.
Ready?
After 6 years living in a suburban townhouse, Brittany Roddick is ready to upgrade to a bigger home with more space to play catch.
We wanted something with a bit of a bigger backyard and just room to grow.
Roddick has a new build and a lot all picked out. The only thing she's waiting for is the government's promised tax relief measures to officially take effect.
It really just made everything more attainable for us. It was so exciting.
Starting April 1st, the Ontario and federal government are removing the GST, HST on the purchase of new build homes. For properties valued up to $1 million, that's a 13% savings, or up to $130,000. On homes between $1 million and $1.5 million, the savings max out at $130,000. For properties $1.85 million and over, the max $24,000.
This partnership will provide almost $2.2 billion in total tax savings for Ontarians, and it will catalyze housing starts in Ontario.
Ontario and the federal government are also committing $8.8 billion to help pay for infrastructure projects, so municipalities can reduce development charges by half for 3 years.
They've increased a massive amount over the last 25 years. So the City of Toronto, they've increased by over 5,000%.
The Conservatives doubt the changes will lead to any results.
I worry that one year reprieve on the HST and only 3 years of getting development charges down. But that's not a long enough window for really getting the housing, the housing construction business moving again.
The government says municipalities will be expected to reduce development charges, but so far many have been hesitant to do so, saying those fees are necessary to get sewage, water, and other infrastructure projects built without transferring the costs to taxpayers. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
We have extended coverage of today's housing announcement and what it means for those looking to buy a home. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Still ahead, a new seafood restaurant closes in the core just months after a splashy opening in the same location as a once notorious McDonald's. That story coming up. A major change to garbage collection across the city is leaving many residents confused and worried about garbage piling up. The new pickup schedules rolled out today, with some people missing collection entirely and others unsure when to put their bins to the curb. CTV's Leah LaRocque is in studio with more on this. Leah.
Patricia, councillors we spoke to say despite all the best efforts from their offices and from the city to tell people about the changes, there will be a bumpy transition period to figure it all out. But one thing is for sure, after day one of the new schedule, people are starting to talk trash.
Take a drive down Montfort Street in Vanier and you'd swear it's garbage day. But it isn't.
No, it's not garbage day.
Alexandra Wishart says many of her neighbors didn't get the message that garbage day is changing from Mondays to Wednesdays.
Honestly, I'm on the Vanier neighbors group on Facebook, and it's been 12,000 people asking, is it garbage day? What's garbage? What are we supposed to be putting out?
A new citywide collection contract is now in effect, changing pickup days for about half of all Ottawa households.
Oh, you mean the actual day? No, I didn't know that.
This is Stéphanie Plante, your city councillor for Ward 12, Rideau Vanier.
Across the city, councillors trying to warn residents, including videos and pamphlets.
I ended up having to bring the garbage all the way back in.
My wife hadn't been on the ball, I would have had my garbage out.
The Easter long weekend will also push collection by a day, adding to the confusion.
Well, we're going to have a trashy Easter.
The new garbage schedule kicked in today across the city, which means that there are a lot of residents waking up to Monday being their new garbage day and having to remember to put the trash to the curb. In the Golden Triangle, it's now garbage day for residents like Chris Moore.
I've lived in this neighborhood since 1981, and it's always been Wednesday morning. This is the first time I've done this on a Monday morning.
So far, so good. All the people in this community here are having their stuff perfect positioning at the curb. Makes it easier for us to collect garbage.
To help, the city is temporarily allowing residents to put out extra garbage, up to 6 items, on collection day.
Nobody's really comfortable with change, so they've got to deal with that. But once we get through the transition, it's still going to be like regular, garbage 1 week, recycling the next kind of thing.
The city also says they are offering one-time, one-bag drop-offs at designated locations within neighborhoods, but only for impacted residents. More details include available on the city's website, and that information has been shared with the impacted ward councillors to inform their residents. Patricia.
So, Leah, in that first neighborhood, are they bringing it all back in and putting it back out on Wednesday, or are they just leaving it till then?
We're going to have to see. We'll check out maybe tomorrow or on their next garbage pickup how much that garbage piles up.
Could be an interesting trip down the street. Thank you very much. CTV's Leah LaRocque live for us tonight as we take a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 14 degrees out there in Ottawa right now. It was a balmy Monday, and we're holding on to some of that temperature into the evening. But, Jackie, we have a whole different weather story on the way for tomorrow.
Yes, it's going to be quite the change from what we saw today, where we're going to get temperatures closer to the freezing mark as our daytime high, as well as a freezing rain and rain moving through. Special weather statement is in effect for Ottawa as well as the Valley, a freezing rain warning for parts of Quebec as well. We are anticipating between 20 to 40 millimeters of rain when all is said and done. And this gives you a picture of when we can anticipate it. It'll be Tuesday early morning around 4 a.m. where we will start to see the wintry wicks banks move through the province. So parts of the valley could see more snow. Here in Ottawa, freezing rain. For your morning commute, this is when it will likely transition to freezing rain, where we will see temperatures drop to about 1 degree. So it could be a messy and slippery commute. And there will be a pause middle of the day, but then by Tuesday evening, we're going to see more rainfall moving through as well. Temperatures for the overnight, though, this evening, around 6 degrees. So pretty warm considering the last couple of days that we've had. And again, tomorrow, temperatures are going to be dropping. Daytime high will only be 2 degrees. Periods of rain will continue into the early hours of Wednesday morning, but we are keeping a very close eye on this. Right now, temperatures across Eastern Ontario, 13, 14 degrees along the Seaway, and here in Ottawa, 6 degrees in Kingston. And as we look towards Kemptville and Gatineau, temperatures sitting around 14 degrees. We'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast in just a bit. Patricia.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, debate is raging tonight over a proposed plan to implement bus-only lanes on a section of Bank Street in the Glebe. Transit users are in favor of the idea, but businesses say the removal of parking spaces could be devastating. The city committee just approved a pilot project which would create some 3-hour and some permanent bus-only lanes on sections of Bank Street between Highway 417 and the Rideau Canal. CTV's Kimberly Johnson just back from City Hall and has the details for us on this tonight. Kimberly.
Patricia, dozens of speakers on both sides voiced their concern and support at the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee this afternoon. While transit users say that it can provide much-needed relief, businesses say it will take away much-needed parking, which will drive away customers.
Getting through the Glebe down Bank Street can seem like a bottleneck at the best of times. The city is considering bus-only lanes on parts of Bank to help the buses move more quickly. The debate causes division.
That would be honestly really good for just getting to school and stuff.
Restricting to one lane of traffic is not going to help this area out. I think that it's not going to speed the buses up enough for it to matter.
I urge council to ensure that this proposal is fast-tracked as much as possible.
More than 40 members of the community, for and against, lined up before a city committee, including transit riders who like the idea and Bank Street merchants who say it will destroy business.
The recommendations that you will see in the staff report speak to giving greater priority to transit on Bank Street, while still respecting and balancing all of these other functions of the corridor, which are also critically important.
Staff recommended a pilot project that would create 3-hour bus-only lanes on sections of Bank, northbound between Homewood and Pretoria during the morning commute, and southbound between Powell and Homewood during the afternoon commute. Smaller, permanent 24-hour bus lanes would also be installed at 4th and 5th and near Lansdowne. Transit user Saad Khan says permanent bus lanes are needed.
I frequently, get stuck in, traffic there, and as a result, I've been late to work and events more than once. And I feel like bus lanes, dedicated bus lanes on both sides would help.
If we get this wrong, we won't just lose parking spaces, we lose businesses.
But the plan would remove 17 parking spaces, which businesses say are vital to attracting customers.
We're seeing those 17 spaces could potentially remove up to about $2 million a year in revenue for the businesses. So it's not just a parking space. You have to look at it. It's the turnover.
I hope they don't turn it into a bus lane, because we may as well give them the keys for our store. I mean, it's terrible. We're not going to have any walk-in. It's going to be taken away from us.
The plan was approved by City Committee late this afternoon. Next, the pilot will be presented to City Council on April 8th. If passed there, the launch date for the pilot project will be by the summer of next year. Patricia.
A lot of mixed feelings about that. All right. CTV's Kimberly Johnson live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, a city committee paving the way for sidewalks to be built on some streets in Manor Park. The plan is to install sidewalks on sections of Arundel Avenue, Kilberry Crescent, Braemar Street, and Jeffrey Avenue. The plan has faced opposition from residents in that area who say sidewalks are not necessary in the neighborhood, but a city committee approved the project today. It will be done at the same time as road, water, and sewer work, which staff say will help lower costs. The plan still has to be approved by full council. Ottawa taxi drivers are back in court as a years-long battle over the city's handling of Uber's arrival enters a critical new phase. CTV's Josh Morano is following the case and joins us live. Josh.
Yeah, Patricia, taxi drivers packed the courthouse today. This is a lawsuit that has been going on for nearly a decade. And now after a judge found the city negligent, the focus turns to how much taxi drivers could actually receive in damages. Taxi drivers first launched a $215 million class action suit back in 2016, arguing the City of Ottawa failed to enforce its own bylaws when Uber entered the market. A judge later agreed, finding the city allowed the ride-hailing services to operate without proper enforcement for nearly 2 years. Now, this 4-day trial is focused on damages and whether compensation should be awarded broadly or calculated case by case.
I think it's time for us to go right to the end. 10 years is a long time. Quite a few drivers have passed over those 10 years, and this was their retirement fund. So, I feel like we have an obligation to finish this.
Previously, taxi drivers proposed the city add a fee on Uber and taxi rides to cover the cost of a potential settlement. But Marc-Andre Way says there have been little to no talks or negotiations with the city on that. The trial is set to take place over 4 days, and we asked the city's defense attorney for comment after day one wrapped up, but they declined. The defense will have a chance to cross-examine at the next trial date. Patricia.
CTV's Josh Morano live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, there are new paid parking rules at one of the most popular garages in the Byward Market. A 3-hour limit pay and display system came into effect today at this parking garage at 70 Clarence Street. Normally full on Monday mornings, the garage was quite a bit emptier than usual today. Many drivers say they do not agree with the new time limit and higher rate.
I have to move my car every 3 hours now.
Well, it's pretty expensive, so I think I'm just probably going to find another parking where it's less expensive for me to enjoy the whole day in the market.
I just paid just $7, maybe $6.50 for less than an hour, so it doesn't make any sense for me.
The city says the change is meant to encourage higher turnover and increase the availability of short-term parking. The lot has space for 290 vehicles and 6 accessible spots. The Chinese seafood restaurant that opened with much fanfare at the former Rideau Street McDonald's location has closed its doors. A sign on the door of 99 VIP Seafood Restaurant from a bailiff service says the business's lease has been terminated and it owes over $83,000 in defaults and missed payments. The restaurant only opened last fall after securing a 10-year lease. The former McDonald's was infamous for its frequent police calls and incidents. A reminder to drivers about a major closure on a busy arterial road in the city. Woodruff Avenue between Richmond Road and Deschênes Street is now closed to traffic. The closure will last a month, with crews set to work on significant underground infrastructure upgrades and a full road reconstruction. There has been construction in the area for the past 2 years due to Stage 2 LRT work. The section of Woodruff Avenue is not expected to reopen until fall. Well, now to one of the most well-known cold cases in Canada and its ties to Eastern Ontario today. The man charged in the death of a woman who was for decades known as the Nation River Lady appeared in court. The woman's body was found in the Nation River near Castleman in May 1975, but it would take nearly 50 years to identify her and her alleged killer. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with the details. Katie.
Patricia, Rodney Nichols, the man charged, is now in his 80s. After delays all day, he briefly appeared in court virtually in a wheelchair. His lawyer says he has dementia. Both the Crown and defense are jointly recommending the judge find Nichols not fit to stand trial.
The family of Jewel Parchman Langford arriving at the Lornielle courthouse, where the man charged with her murder more than 50 years ago appeared virtually for the first day of a fitness hearing. Langford, a 48-year-old businesswoman from Tennessee, was last seen in Montreal in April 1975. In May of that year, a farmer near Castleman found a woman's body in the Nation River, but a link wasn't made.
So hopefully these people will come forward to call the OPP.
Despite efforts by police to identify the body, including sketches and a 3D facial reconstruction, the woman went unidentified for decades, known simply as the Nation River Lady. In 2019, the OPP teamed up with the DNA Doe Project, a volunteer group in the United States. Using a DNA sample provided by police, they searched for potential family members who uploaded their own genetic profiles to a database and were able to make an ID. Police then worked with multiple agencies to find her alleged killer. Rodney Nichols was 81 years old and living in Florida when he was charged in 2023. His lawyer says he has dementia. Both the Crown and defense are jointly recommending the judge find Nichols not fit to stand trial.
To support that request, there will be a number of fitness reports from the last few years filed, some with expert opinion that stated he was fit to stand trial, but the more recent ones suggest he is not. Langford's niece is also expected to provide a statement about her loss and the impact this has had on their family over the last 5 decades. Patricia.
CTV's Katie Griffin reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. Air Canada's CEO, Michael Russo, says he'll be retiring later this year after spending nearly 2 decades with the country's largest airline. The announcement comes as Russo faces criticism for his French language skills following his response to the crash at New York's LaGuardia Airport, which killed 2 Air Canada pilots. Russo was facing calls to resign after he delivered a condolence message in English only. Air Canada's board of directors says it will consider a number of performance criteria in assessing candidates, including the ability to communicate in French. It also says Mr. Russo has agreed to remain available as needed to ensure a seamless and smooth transition.
This will just give providers some treatment recommendations. If people come in with heart disease, they'll know that they need to also think about and manage their mental health.
Just ahead, landmark new guidelines out of the University of Ottawa Heart Institute for treating heart, brain, and mental health issues. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. We do have some heavy rainfall as well, some freezing rain moving through the early parts of Tuesday morning. It has prompted a special weather statement. And while we did see about 16 degrees for today's daytime high, temperatures are going to start dropping. Still quite warm for the midnight hour at 7 degrees. But again, by 7 a.m., we are likely going to be hovering around the freezing mark and for most of our Tuesday as well. Now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Temperatures have already started to drop. 14 degrees here in the capital and a gray, little bit of some sunshine moving through Parliament and downtown Ottawa.
First responders are a family that is 4 times as likely to suffer from mental health disorders. The Ottawa First Responders Foundation provides wellness supports for currently serving and retired Ottawa fire, police, and paramedic personnel and their families. In this family, no one stands alone. Help support those who are there for you. For information and to make a donation, visit ottawafrf.ca.
Ottawa's favorite cash contest is back, and it's big. Move 100's $50,000 Beat the Bank. 7 vaults. You decide how much to take home. Sound the alarm? You lose it all. Be listening weekdays for your chance to win.
Not bad on the roads tonight on a Monday night. All clear out there for the most part. Slowdowns in the usual spots, but could be quite a different story on the roads tomorrow. The new guidelines out of the University of Ottawa Heart Institute may shape how doctors in Canada treat heart, brain, and mental health conditions. Dr. Jody Edwards led the development of the new guidelines, which were released in the Canadian Medical Association Journal today. They encourage family physicians to treat heart, brain, and mental health conditions together rather than in isolation.
So if someone comes in with some flutter in their heart, it could be something called atrial fibrillation, and that's the most common cardiac cause of stroke. So now the primary care provider will know to screen for stroke risk in the context of the heart disease.
The guidelines create a holistic approach to managing disease and include a shift toward treating the whole person, not just the disease. Well, it finally feels like spring in the capital, but this weather is not going to last for long. It was a beautiful, sunny day, wonderful start to the week. Temperatures got all the way up to 16 degrees this afternoon, but a special weather statement is now in effect. Nevertheless, people are enjoying this weather while it is here. We have it on good authority, Jackie, that there are some people on the patio here in the Byward Market, Lower Town, a couple other places as well. Because why not when it's, what, about 14 degrees still right now?
I mean, we hit 16 degrees, and when's the last time we hit these temperatures, especially with the snowy, rainy, wintry mix that we've had for the last couple of weeks. And again, it is quite short-lived because tomorrow this is going to be quite different. Now, current temperature sitting right now 14 degrees, so still time to hit up a patio. We've got those northerly winds moving in as well, and a reminder that we do have a special weather statement in effect for tomorrow, and for really it's going to go into Wednesday morning as well. Taking a look at these temperatures, conditions still going to be moderate, about 9 degrees for 9 p.m. Temperatures around the midnight hour, 7 degrees. There's a slight chance that parts of the region could see some showers, but it really is not until 7 a.m. and even just the early hours before you head off to work that we are likely going to see a band of precipitation moving through. And because temperatures are dropping around the freezing mark and 1 degree, it's going to feel closer, or we're going to see more freezing rain or a risk of it. Icy, slippery conditions as well. We're only getting to a daytime high of 2 degrees tomorrow. So morning lows around the region will be around 0. Kingston, 6 degrees, 7 degrees. Daytime highs when we look for our Tuesday, it's only going to get up to about 2 degrees for Ottawa. Brockville, it's about 6 degrees. Kingston sitting around 9. Bancroft, 5 degrees. And we look to Mont-Tremblant and Montreal hovering around 3-4 degrees. Now, we talked about bands of precipitation moving through. It won't even just be in the early hours for the morning commute. Tuesday around 7 p.m., that's when we will likely see more freezing rain moving through just north of Ottawa. Closer to Maniwaki, we could start to see some periods of snow around Brockville and Kingston. It is going to be heavier rainfall, perhaps some risk of thunderstorm as well. So we are keeping a close eye on this because a reminder, when all is said and done, we are anticipating between 20 to 40 millimeters of rain moving through. Wednesday, though, looking pretty clear in terms of precipitation, mainly cloudy skies, so we'll get a little bit of a break. Now, right now, across Canada, Halifax, 6 degrees, Fredericton sitting around 8 degrees, 14 here in Ottawa. Windsor, they saw a daytime high of 21 degrees, so I'm sure there's a lot of patio happening in Windsor. Now, in Western Canada, quite a different story. -4 in Regina, -6 in Saskatoon. We've got Edmonton sitting around -2 in Vancouver, sunshine and 8 degrees. And again, after Tuesday, we are likely going to see more clouds moving through for Wednesday. And again, Thursday, it's going to be a different story again. So it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster for us this week. This 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aids. Join them at the 55 Plus show at the AY Center, April 10th and 11th. So as we can see, Wednesday, bit of a break. We'll get 8 degrees as the anticipated daytime high, but temperatures will drop down to 2 for Thursday, where yes, we could see periods of freezing rain return to the capital. Friday, for Good Friday, there is a chance we could see some showers, but we will get to a daytime high of 6 degrees. And Easter weekend, we are going to average, hopefully, 8 degrees as the daytime high.
I mean, the nice thing about the rain itself is that it's washing away some of that dirty snow anyway. We'll start to look a little prettier around here for the mayor's pictures.
And to bring, yes, for the mayor's pictures and to bring in spring, because we're really waiting for this to arrive here.
100%.
You have to bring them on side because you cannot fight with them, and you don't want to fight with them because you actually want to have these NDP leaders become premiers.
Well, just ahead, the federal NDP has a new leader, but his election is already sparking division and backlash within the party.
Tonight, giving drivers a break at the pumps.
That's insane. Definitely need to get some tax cuts.
What other countries are doing to lower gas prices, and could Canada be next in line? We'll have that story and more later on CTV National News and Watch on Crave.
Tamarack Ottawa Race Weekend returns May 23rd and 24th, and it's never too early to join Canada's biggest running celebration. From the full and the half marathons to the 10K, the 5K, and the 2K, there's a distance for everyone. Register early to save on fees, jumpstart your training, and get ahead on fundraising in the Desjardins Charity Challenge. Join thousands at the start line and be a part of something amazing. Visit runottawa.ca for more information.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, we heard from the new federal NDP leader today, Avi Lewis, holding a news conference one day after capturing 56% of the vote. But he has some major hurdles ahead. The party was decimated in the last election, and Lewis's policies are unpopular with some of his provincial counterparts. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
Our leader, Avi Lewis.
We're missing the roaring crowd today, Leah.
Yes.
The day after a win can feel underwhelming, but Avi Lewis acknowledges one of the first tasks is to unite the party.
We don't have to agree on every little thing in order to do big things together. So I can't wait to do big things on housing, on health care, and on the cost of living.
Moments after Lewis was announced as the new federal leader, NDP leaders in Alberta and Saskatchewan issued statements saying Lewis's views run contrary to the party's working class roots. Lewis says his door is open to a meeting, but Carla Beck may not be willing to do that.
I have a calendar right now that doesn't allow a lot of extra outside of all of what we're doing here in Saskatchewan.
It's not ideal.
Disagreements within a party aren't new, but the former national director of the NDP believes it's up to Lewis to start the bridge building.
You have to bring them on side because you cannot fight with them, and you don't want to fight with them because you actually want to have these NDP leaders become premiers.
Without a by-election in the offing, Lewis plans to lead the party from outside Parliament and continue fundraising for the NDP.
When the caucus and I feel that the party is at a point where I'm needed in the House of Commons, I will look for the first available winnable seat, and that moment is not now.
Finding a winnable seat is key. Lewis ran in BC in the last 2 federal elections, but he came in third both times. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, in tonight's big picture, a popular Easter treat has been supersized in the UK. This is the world's largest mini egg at 3 feet tall, about 120 pounds. It took 2 days to make and is filled with milk chocolate with a crispy exterior. The egg was created to entertain visitors at the Cadbury World Theme Park in Birmingham, England. Not even Easter yet. I've eaten about 1,000 of the regular size mini eggs. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. 5 City of Ottawa employees were fired last year after tips to the Fraud and Waste Hotline. The Auditor General has released her annual report. It does not outline why employees were fired, but does show what she discovered while looking into tips from the staff and public. There were 57 substantiated allegations last year, including city employees who were working a second job during working hours, an employee working a second job while on sick leave, and sleeping while on shift. Ottawa drivers may soon have a little longer to pay the early payment fine for parking tickets. City staff recommend extending the early payment window from 7 to 15 days. Councillors will debate the measure at a city committee next week.
Whitehead shot, hits a stick in front, they bang away at it, they score! Vandenberg!
It was a thrilling game, too, yesterday for 67's fans at TD Place Arena. Thomas Vandenberg scored his second of the game on the power play. Put the 67's up 4-1 in the second period, but the Frontenacs would make it close, answering back with 2 goals in the third. The Barber Poles did hang on for the 4-3 win. Ottawa now has a 2-0 series lead and heads to Kingston for games 3 and 4. And the Ottawa Charge took on the Seattle Torrent yesterday. Ottawa's Peyton Hemp got her first career PWHL goal to extend the Charge's lead to 2-0 in the second. That would be the final score. Those 3 points help Ottawa's playoff chances with just 6 games remaining in the regular season. The Charge play next on Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. in Calgary against the Toronto Scepters.
Under NATO Article 3, we're expected to have capacity to care for mass casualties within our country.
Just ahead, we'll have the details on a new report showing Canada needs to medically prepare for military conflict overseas.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal. Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
A new article in the Canadian Medical Association Journal looks at Canada's medical preparedness for military conflict overseas. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has the details.
It's a grim prospect St. Mike's trauma surgeon Dr. Andrew Beckett is examining: mass Canadian casualties from an overseas military conflict.
Under NATO Article 3, we're expected to have capacity to care for mass casualties within our country.
During World War II, Canada had 13,000 military hospital beds to care for personnel hurt overseas, but we haven't had military hospitals since 1994. Now military patients are seen in civilian hospitals.
These would be place a tremendous burden on the provincial healthcare systems, which we know are always tight for beds.
And there can be differences between military and civilian cases.
There's a lot more penetrating injury, meaning that the skin is broken with a lot more tissue damage from rifle bullets or artillery shells. So the wounds can be a lot dirtier because there's a lot more debris put into the wound, and so there's affections are a lot more predominant.
Beckett, who has served as a surgeon with the armed forces for decades, says a first step should be establishing a national organizational structure.
To be able to respond to the emergency, and also to have defined responsibilities for healthcare needs of both military and civilian populations.
Will we see a return of military hospitals?
That's an excellent question. There's no current plans for that at this time, but we don't know what the challenges are going to be in the future and how we're going to have to respond. What I would like to see is us being able to provide the best level of care for both our citizens of Canada and as well as our military forces that may serve overseas.
The article deals with overseas conflicts, but Dr. Beckett says this kind of preparation will also serve Canada for domestic catastrophes such as wildfires and natural disasters. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
U.S. crude oil settled above $100 a barrel for the first time since 2022 as the ongoing conflict in Iran enters its fifth week. BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya has more.
The price of oil continues to climb as, on the flip side, uncertainty drags down the markets. West Texas Intermediate futures rose more than 3% today, the highest since July 2022, and Brent trading even higher. The latest rise in prices comes as Donald Trump is once again threatening attacks on Iran's energy infrastructure. Traders are warning an even bigger energy increase could be on the rise if the conflict does not end soon. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to $71.80. West Texas Intermediate is up over $104 a barrel. Western Canadian Select is up to $81.36. And the TSX dropped more than 25 points to finish the day. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
I want to thank the Junos for this great honor. I really appreciate it.
Just ahead, we'll have the highlights of last night's Juno Awards.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
Far side pass, and it's an early shot. He scores!
Hey. CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video uploaded at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
Some of the biggest names in Canadian music, Tate McRae and Justin Bieber, were no-shows at last night's Juno Awards, but there was still plenty to celebrate at the 55th edition, including honoring a legend. Here's CTV's Andrea Case.
It's been a while, but legendary rock band Rush found its way back home, back on stage playing the first song of their self-titled first album released this month, 52 years ago. With new drummer Germany's Annika Nilles replacing the original man behind the kit, the late Neil Peart. The 55th annual Juno Awards celebrating the best in Canadian music spanned from the past to the present. Performing and winning on stage at Hamilton's TD Coliseum, Toronto's The Beaches won Best Group for the third year in a row. In the crowd, Toronto's Mustafa presented his friend and collaborator, Oshawa's Daniel Caesar, the International Achievement Award. He also took home contemporary R&B record called Son of Spurgey.
I want to say thank you to my dad. This is Spurgey right here. It's nice to know I got options.
BC's Cameron Whitcomb took home the Breakthrough Artist and Country Album of the Year. It literally had him jumping for joy.
Being a woman in the music industry in any era is something that I have to tip my hat to. The men in this business do not make it any easier.
Drake made this video appearance in honor of his friend, Canadian Music Hall of Fame inductee, Nelly Furtado.
Totally believe in the Canadian dream. Please believe it too.
Prime Minister Mark Carney was on hand to bestow the Lifetime Achievement Award to 82-year-old Joni Mitchell.
I want to thank the Junos for this great honor. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad to be back in Canada.
There was a time Mitchell thought she wouldn't sing again, but she has, and she did. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Oh, it's perfect. I mean, look all around you. I mean, it's all right here, right? You see all this beauty.
Coming up, they're doing spring right. The cherry blossom trees in Washington, D.C. putting on a stunning seasonal show as thousands of visitors flock to see the annual blooms. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. 20 to 40 millimeters of rain mixed in with freezing rain anticipated for tomorrow. And we are getting our first round as early as 4 or 5 a.m. and it could affect your morning commute. Taking a look closer into what we can expect for the next 3 days. Well, take a closer look at this. We're getting to a daytime high about Wednesday for 8 degrees, cloudy skies. Thursday, though, will be the return of potential freezing rain. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. No rain in sight just yet. And it's still pretty warm out there right now, 14 degrees here in downtown Ottawa.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Pure Country 94.
In Texas, I can tell.
Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
Tomorrow on CTV, Your Morning Ottawa, our digital detox week continues, and we're putting down the phone and picking up a book with The Spaniel's Tale. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
And here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, Extracted, Memory of a Killer, and The Rookie. But I don't know, do you want to be watching TV tonight, even CTV, when it's 14 degrees out?
No, you do not. You want to take advantage of this because you can watch CTV after when you come home from the patio.
Move the TV out to the balcony, maybe?
Maybe, because you want to enjoy this 14-degree weather because temperatures will take quite a turn. Special weather statement in effect as early as Tuesday, 4, 5 a.m. because we are anticipating periods of rain and freezing drizzle. So it is a risk of icy, slippery conditions when you head out the door. 1 degree is what we're starting off with. It's going to hover around these temperatures, only getting to a daytime high of 2 degrees. Wednesday, we will get a break from the 20 and 40 millimeters of rain, and freezing rain. But Thursday, we could see the return of periods of freezing rain with the 2 degrees, the daytime high.
Okay. If we had any power at all, we'd hold on to what we've got tonight, but it will return at some point. And Stephen Keys has returned to anchor the 11:30 tonight. Steph, what are you working on?
That's right, Patricia. Again, like Jackie said, once you're finished with the patio, come back home, turn on the news at 11:30. The smash and grab crime trend has been happening at stores and malls in Ottawa, but tonight we'll take you down the 401 towards Toronto, where some strong footage has emerged out of Oshawa. A reminder, police do not encourage citizens' arrest. You never know what weapon could be concealed on a suspect, but if it weren't for some onlookers at this Oshawa mall stepping in, police in that part of our province may not have caught up to the alleged bandits, and they confirm all 5 suspects are in custody. We should note the suspect first seen in the video allegedly used bear spray in this incident, and while it's still criminalized, that's the very thing the Premier wants to decriminalize so people can use it in self-defense. The full story tonight at 11:30, and more incredible footage as well, Patricia.
All right, Steph, thank you very much. We will be watching, despite my comments.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And finally for us tonight, they may still be weeks away from showing up here in the Capitol, but in Washington, D.C., the cherry blossoms have hit peak bloom.
Oh, it's perfect. I mean, look all around you. I mean, it's all right here, right? You see all this beauty.
I'm not a photographer, but you know, I try to take every year pictures, but I feel every year this gets prettier.
I mean, we never get them quite like this all over. Locals, tourists, all enjoying this in the U.S. Capitol, taking in the views after a burst of warm weather sped up the show. The annual display began as a diplomatic gift of a few thousand trees from Japan in 1912. There are now 3,700 trees, drawing massive crowds. An expected 1.6 million people will take in the blooms while they can. That is how I picture spring, that and the tulips that we get in May.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, beautiful.
1912.
Ooh, worth a picture or two for sure. Oh, and out on the water as well. Look forward to all of that soon.
Maybe not this week.
Yeah, not the kind of water we're going to be.
You can look forward to
walking on
11:30
tomorrow.
news.